Welcome to Breaking the Vow on Strong Island Radio. This is a show where we turn pain into power and find recovery after divorce, separation, and breakups. This is where we push the emotional hang-ups to the side and create a plan to reach our best possible potential. This is where the next chapter starts and how the healing begins. So let's welcome your hosts, Theresa D. and Benny, the life coach.
And welcome to another edition of Breaking the Vow, where we find recovery after divorce, separation, or a breakup, and where we turn pain into power.
Right.
I am Benny, the life coach, and with me, as always,
Theresa D.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm happy.
Good.
Do you know what?
Glad to hear it.
Thank God I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because
I don't like it when you're cranky.
I've been told I can be a little bitchy.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm happy is, you know who we have today?
Yes, I do.
So I'm really proud because I'm about to bring on one of my oldest friends in my life. Not that he's old, we just go back a long ways.
Well, you are old. He's not old. You're old.
Yeah, I am old. I feel old. And I had the honor of officiating his wedding, and he
awesome.
is, yeah, he is a man who means a lot to me. So, Kevin Daly, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, Kev.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, the show is basically about finding recovery after divorce. So, the word recovery to you and I means something different, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, as far as if you're talking about drugs and alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
I imagine even regardless, you still need to recover to get back to some kind of normal life.
Sure.
You know, after your life is pretty much, exploding around you. You know?
Shattered and changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess there's always some kind of recovery,
Yes.
for divorce,
And might I add that I love the Red Hot Chili Pepper shirt.
I was just going to say that. I was going to say, Kev, your shirt rocks.
Well, actually, Kev rocks.
Yeah, Kev rocks.
You are one of the greatest drummers that I know.
Yeah.
I'm blushing now.
I know. Well, that's because you're handsome. But you also play with a band, right?
I do.
And what's the name of your band?
But I can't remember who interviewed us.
Oh yeah, he actually Kevin interviewed a while back at Strong Island Radio. He just doesn't remember who interviewed. But I'm glad to know that you would remember this interview.
Yes.
If someone asked.
You have to remember this.
I will.
All right, good.
So your band is Exit Verona, right?
Exit Verona, yeah.
And
Still
they're
going.
awesome, by the way.
They're such a fun band to watch play live. And so one of the things that I've enjoyed about, growing up with someone from years ago and then getting back together and our reconnection is I had the honor of watching Kevin's band play at some of our St. Baldrick's events. So we Theresa and I ran promotions for events with children with pediatric cancer, and Exit Verona was always
there.
And always the best band.
Yes.
You actually pissed off the other bands, Kev, right? Didn't something like that kind of happen?
One in particular, that I recall. We just wanted to keep playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's one guy that kind of I'm not doing names. I'm not gonna out anybody. But the guy was kind of like I didn't like him. So,
He was
a dick. He was.
Oh,
I'm trying not to curse, but we're using the word dick now. Listen, I'm supposed to be a life coach and do life coachy things,
Yeah.
but I'm also a human being.
Right.
And the guy was a dick. The bald guy, by the way, if you don't. He was a singer for that other band, and he didn't get to play. Or, no, he got to play to like an empty house.
It was, by the time his band went on, there was nobody there.
Yeah. Right.
But I kind of felt bad for him, because they had all this equipment, everything set up, and when they went on, there was literally nobody there.
Yeah, because you guys were done and nobody wanted to stay afterwards.
Right. Because
Yeah.
you guys were done playing. That was why.
Yeah.
So now,
Quick
aside,
to add injury, right before they were ready to go on, nobody was really there. They did the raffles. So
Everybody was really running out the door.
Yeah, so
so wait a second. You played. Everyone's leaving. They did the raffles. People got their tickets. Left.
and then
I was one of the coordinators. I
Yeah.
even left.
Yeah.
So that guy played to nobody.
well,
Good, because he
That
was a
was
prick. That
funny.
guy. He was a good. He was a prick. That guy.
I stayed for a little while because I felt bad, but yeah, no one else was there.
And then you did the Irish goodbye and just walked out
Yeah,
the door.
just walked out.
Yeah,
So another part of our history that you and I relate to is we've both gone through divorce.
yeah.
Wait, hello. So have I.
Well, yes, and Teresa's gone through divorce too. So hold on, let me rewind. We've all gone through divorce. Now, what you and I went through that was similar. We've shared a lot of our history together about what it's like to be a dad going through divorce, and I mean, I agree to things that I don't think I would agree to now. Is that fair to say that you felt the same way?
In your divorce agreement,
Yeah.
yeah, I agreed. To I was in a bad spot and I felt guilty, and I just wanted to make sure I would at least be able to see my kids.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, my agreement was kind of one-sided in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
against me. So it's, I mean, we talked yesterday, Ben, about people who are divorced without kids. It's
Right.
not really, to me, it's not really divorce.
It's signed, sealed,
Right.
delivered. You can leave.
The kids really make it very difficult, emotionally,
Yes.
but the alienation and everything that goes on, at least in my case. I don't know if it goes on all over the place, but
Well,
No.
in previous shows, we've had attorneys for the children, different divorce attorneys come in, and we have seen how often the parents make the divorce about them.
Right. And not about the kids.
Right. And then what happens is, like you say, parental alienation,
Yeah.
more arguing,
Yeah.
more fighting,
Yep.
and more money lost.
Of course.
So there's
Yeah.
we have a new hashtag. Are you ready for it?
go. What do you got?
Hashtag cheapest divorce, put the kids first. And what happens is everybody wants to fight. It's got to be I win, you lose, I'm right,
Right.
you're wrong.
Right.
In my case, I just wanted to get away. I wanted to stop it. I wanted to not be in the house anymore. So I agreed to a lot of things, and I was not necessarily educated. And my attorney didn't want. I didn't have much to pay him, so he was like, "Just sign the paper, kid. Get out of the office."
Yeah.
How was it? How was that for you?
Well, and that divorce agreement is next to impossible to change after you sign it.
Yes, exactly. Like you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars just to change it. One
Oh,
line.
Yeah, it's tough. I wasn't really in a good frame of mind because of drugs and alcohol. So, and I felt guilty. So I just kind of agreed to stuff similar to like what you said, Ben. Like, let's just do this, and
Right.
and then as time goes on, you realize what you agreed to, and you were like,
What was I thinking?
Right.
Yeah.
I think we all go through that though. Dads
Yeah,
and moms, same thing.
100%. I don't think it's necessarily specific to dad or mom.
No.
I think what happens is, especially when you don't feel like you are at your best and you're at your worst,
Right.
then all of a sudden you just agree to something, and then later one day you're like, why
Why would I agree to that?
Yeah, why did I
Yeah.
say yes to that?
Right.
So when you were divorced for a while, I mean, you have children, right?
I do.
So how many children do you have?
2.
And what's their age differences?
Well, Connor's 14 and my daughter just turned 17. She's driving.
Wow. What's that like?
It's actually kind of good because we got to bond a little bit, because she would always say, "Oh, you're bribing me with," when she was younger, it was a stuffed animal or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. So now, I wouldn't call it bribery, but it's a reason to hang out. Oh, do you want to go drive?
It's an experience, yes.
So it was kind of cool that we were able to, do that. But
right.
She's on the road now, so.
Did you help her get her learner's permit test stuff information or anything like that?
No, I was pretty much cut out of, which is fine. In the beginning, it bothered me because I was kind of cut out, or as my ex would attempt to cut me out of all their school stuff. Like she would she would kind of, in her mind, I was only a dad on Wednesday between 5 and 8 and every other week, and I was not that. I was at all their functions, and when I say this stuff, I'm not trying to paint myself like some great guy. I was divorced for a reason.
Right.
So once I was divorced, I realized that I really wanted to be in my kids' lives. And the divorce was my relationship with my kids in a way was better than it
because you were happier, right?
I was eventually happier. Yeah.
So when you say eventually happier, what had to happen for you to find your sense of happiness?
I needed some help, man,
Mm-hmm.
Needed to talk to people who were divorced.
Right.
To realize that I wasn't completely crazy.
Or alone.
Or alone, And the reason why it took longer, I guess, than it should have for me to be, content was just the battles that I would have with my ex,
Right.
So we're gonna go to a commercial real quick to pay a few bills. When we come back, we're gonna talk about what it's like to find help.
Yeah.
And how finding help is not a sign of weakness. It's
a sign of strength.
Yes. It is a sign of strength, and it defines strength.
Yes.
All right, so we will be right back in 2 minutes. All right, so this is what you're going to do. I had a flat tire. Do you know who I called?
You called Tommy.
I did, at 631 Tire and Wheel, 666 West Hoffman Avenue in Lindenhurst, New York, 11757. Or you can go to 631tire.com, 631-412-5165, and ask for Tommy.
Tell him Theresa sent you.
Or Benny. I'm still here, but he helped me out, and I know he'll help you out.
Well, stop hitting potholes.
Smart move. Went to buy a bunch of patio furniture, went to the guy's house, got destroyed by the weather. I asked him, I go, why didn't you cover this? He says, I didn't know I could. I didn't know how to do that. I said, I got a whole idea for you, buddy. Everything will be sold if you just take care of your equipment. He says, how do I cover it? Guess what I told him to call?
Wrap America.
Absolutely. They have a reusable zipper wrap, completely covers RVs, wave runners, patio equipment. It's great. If you go to wrap-america.com, ask for Tommy if you call 516-830-0040. So, we're not getting out of here on time?
No, we're not.
Is that
that's all your fault.
It is my fault. All right, so then I want lunch.
Yes.
Does that mean I have to buy lunch?
Yes.
If I'm buying lunch, I want Giovanni's Pizza.
You got it.
All right, so I'm going to call 631-669-9507. They're at 1009 Little East Neck Road in West Babylon, New York, 11704, and I am getting a chicken parm. I know your father likes that.
Oh, my father loves his chicken parm.
I love everything they make. Gio, I'm getting fat, and it's your fault, but I love every minute of it.
Hey, Ben, did you know 65% of people have curly hair? And the biggest problem that holds them back from embracing their curl is frizz.
Frizz?
Yes.
I do know about frizz.
Curl Evolution, located at 233 East Main Street in Babylon Village, is solving that problem.
Good.
They're Long Island's top curly salon. They specialize in cuts and colors, especially for curly hair.
I'll tell you, if you have a bad hair day, that's who you go to.
Yes, you do. They cut curls differently as well, totally different than straight hair. It's done dry.
Dry?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Teach me more.
Yeah. It's because of their individual curl pattern.
Oh.
They have over 2,500 five-star reviews, so you can check them out at curlevolution.com. They're located at 233 East Main Street in Babylon, 631-422-4200.
I want my hair to be curly just so I can go.
Yes.
I'm going. Listen, if you need a lawyer, I'm going to tell you what to do. A lot of this show is about divorce, taking the proper steps to get divorced. If you're going to do that, you want the right attorney. The right attorney is more than half the battle, if you ask me.
Yes.
So what I would do, I think you know who I'm going to tell people to call.
Yes.
Who am I going to tell them to call?
Gene Mercurio.
Absolutely. 57 West Main Street, Suite 130, Babylon. What's that number again?
It's 631-543-0032.
Gene is a friend and a warrior of the show. Give her a call. And we are back with my man Kevin Daly, lifelong friend. So we were talking before about finding help, right? Now, finding help, I get it, can be humbling, but in the long run, it helps you, right? So why do people struggle to look for help or seek the necessary help that would benefit them in the long run?
That's a question for me, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are the guest, my man.
I mean, I was angry, you know.
Okay.
I was angry, and in my case, after the beginning of the divorce, I was just drinking and just angry.
Mm-hmm.
I just was, so it took me a while, I guess, to just surrender. I remember, sleepless nights, just so upset and everything. And I just, I didn't, not that I didn't know that there was, I guess, help out there. I just never really pursued it. I guess I was just comfortable being angry. It was a battle, and I joined in the fights too many times.
Sure.
Right.
I realized I could step back, after I started to, get a grip on things. But you in it. It's like it was a war for a long time.
So we wanted this show and all the shows that we do to be as real as possible.
Right.
Right. So it's not like we're looking for like anyone that's going to have the right thing to say or these great things. We want to hear from real people that went through real divorces and had real heartbreak and found recovery. One thing I could say, I've known you a long time. I have seen you go through a lot of different things. We're boys. We've been together for a while, you and me, right? So I've also seen the work you put into that.
Right.
That's something worth celebrating, but it's also something worth talking about. Like, what was the work that you put into doing? Like, how did you replace thought with action? How did you create a new life for yourself?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just the simple word of putting in the work is you have to, I guess until I started to do the work, and I had a lot of help then, Ben has been a really great help.
Yeah, I know. He's my life coach.
But, a lot of it was, understanding, forgiving. Forgiving.
So forgiving yourself is definitely not an easy thing to do.
No, not at all.
I am not good at forgiving myself.
Me neither.
Forgiving myself and forgiving and understanding and forgiving my ex.
Right.
Right. So I had a situation. I was in Florida taking care of my mother. I was younger. My mom was sick. I was down there, and I got into an altercation with this guy in the hotel, and it was because he was abusive to his girlfriend, and I got physical. I did. I didn't punch him in the face, but I just explained myself a little bit by grabbing him very firmly in some place and asking him if he feels like a real man.
Right.
Because he hit a girl kind of thing.
Right.
And then I proceeded to tell him a bunch of things. Right after that, I looked at myself in the mirror and I realized that there were times where I spoke to my daughter's mother in ways, although it was certainly not like that. I didn't do what he did, but you know what? I saw the likeness, how I was abusive or said mean things. So I immediately called her and I just said, listen, I just want to let you know what happened. You know, and I saw this person doing this, and you know what? It just pointed out who I was, and I'm really sorry. And I started crying.
And because you do that so often.
Yeah, no, when I get emotional, I'm not afraid of crying, man.
No.
It's a
good quality, actually.
I think so. I think it's sexy. So then I'm on the phone with her, and then I know she said something nice back, but I think she thought I was calling her to like bail me out of jail.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, "Are you getting arrested right now or something?" I'm like, "No, I'm calling to apologize to you." And then sometimes some of my apologies, I'm pretty sure, fell on deaf ears. Can you relate to anything like that? Can anyone relate to anything like that? Hey, I'm really sorry for how I was, or what I did, or what I said. Yeah, well, and then just keep yelling at you. Can you relate to that, Kev?
I can relate to. It took me like a while, a couple of years or at least, to realize that maybe I had something to do with getting divorced.
Mm-hmm. We all do.
Yeah, and once I did, I called my ex to apologize, and I said, I know you tried in many ways, and I said I was sorry from the, and it was really from the bottom of my heart. I wasn't doing it for other reason. And she said, I regret every minute I ever spent with you. That was her response to me.
Oh, she's still angry.
Yeah, that's not about you though.
Yeah, that's not about you. That's about her.
Yeah, it didn't bother me at all. I felt great just to get rid of the burden.
Right, for you to do what you did.
Yeah, I could care less how she feels.
Right, it was to make yourself feel better.
Yeah, and ever since that point, I felt a lot better.
Excellent.
So a friend of the show who comes on often is Fran.
Yeah, we love Fran.
We call her "Fess Up When You Mess Up," Fran. And that's one of the things she says. If you fess up when you mess up, you feel better about it. Because you don't have to hold yourself hold yourself captive to it. You don't have to hold yourself as a prisoner. You don't have to punish yourself anymore. So the fact that you come up and you clean up your side of the street is really, I think you and I talk a lot about like making amends.
Yeah.
Taking inventory, and we talk about how to keep ourselves living a certain lifestyle, right? So when you do that, a lot of times when you make amends, not everybody accepts it.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, but we still took the step.
Right.
It wasn't for that. It wasn't for her. It was for me.
Right. It was for you. It was not at all for her.
Yeah, no. And in a previous show, I remember Fran saying, there's nothing wrong with being selfish. For some reason, we have this negative idea of what being selfish is.
Right.
And that's not true. Being selfish just means you're taking care of yourself.
Right.
And at this point in our lives, right, as both people in recovery, you have to take care of yourself. What would you say was the defining moment? Because you have years of sobriety now. What would you say was the defining moment for you when you were like, that's it, pal, I'm done?
The time you made me cry. Remember?
You made him cry?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, come on.
It made me reflect on, my grandfather and how because I really looked up to him, and how, how he would think of my life and, and how, and I don't know, a lot of reflection. And then I finally really just gave up. You know, I really surrendered. Like, really, I didn't even, like, I completely threw in the towel, you know, and I started to really, and I started to like myself, and things got better.
Excellent.
You know? Yeah, you know, and when things continue to get better, and you keep getting to have things to look forward to, and
right.
You know, it's exciting. You know, it's just, you know, and my life is just, it is beyond my wildest dreams now.
Excellent.
You know? Yeah, you're doing very well.
Yeah,
I'm real proud, man. I think another thing that we share is a lot of old friends. And sometimes we're on the phone, we'll be like, remember this, remember that, remember this guy, remember that guy. And we don't need to do names or anything like that. But one thing we have is a lot of people in our lives that didn't make the changes we made. And we've seen where they've gone after that. And it's not that I'm happy about that. I'm not happy at all. I don't need to go to another wake or a funeral. I certainly don't want to. But the one thing I will say is, I'm not saying better them than me, but because of them, that doesn't have to be me. I guess that's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can relate to that.
I mean, look, it's this whole idea of staying clean and sober for a long time did not make sense to me. It didn't. Like, why wouldn't you drink? I thought drinking was as American as apple pie. Like, why wouldn't you drink? Everyone we're friends with drinks. I just don't do it very well.
Yeah.
Like, I end up in places like, say, I don't know, backseat of a cop car.
Yeah, so that's not a good look for you.
In some alley with my face kicked in. Yeah, something like that. And none of that look. Listen, when we were kids, it was funny. You could go crazy. You know, when you're a kid, you could go wild because you have a million tomorrows. So what only that really changes is the way we view time. So when we were kids, we just wanted to have the greatest time of our lives. And I think as an adult, you want to have the greatest time of your life. But what happens is you have all of these things trying to steal that time from you.
Right.
Just like when you're a kid, you have things trying to steal that time from you. So you have school, you have this to contend with or whatever. Either way, you're going to do your time. You just got to choose where you're going to do it and be smart about it.
Right.
You know, and unfortunately, you and I had to do different types of time that were less than comfortable.
Right.
You know, so now at this point, like, I remember being a kid looking forward saying, I got a million tomorrows. Now I'm older and I go, I have thousands of yesterdays. I don't want to waste. I don't want to waste another day going forward.
No.
So here is, before we go into a break, here's the question I want you to think about, and we'll all think about this while we're on break. What was your biggest, like, defining or successful moment post-divorce when you came into a moment of awareness where you're like, you know what? I'm really going to be okay. So we're going to go into a break. So we'll all three of us share it, whatever that is. The most, like, that moment when we're like, wow, I got this. I'm going to be okay. So right now we're going to pay some bills. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to fill up my coffee cup.
And you're not going to curse.
And I'm not going to curse. During the break, I will. During the break, I will. Son of a... All right, so this is what you're going to do. I had a flat tire. Do you know who I called?
You called Tommy.
I did, at 631 Tire and Wheel, 666 West Hoffman Avenue in Lindenhurst, New York, 11757. Or you can go to 631tire.com, 631-412-5165, and ask for Tommy.
Tell him Theresa sent you.
Or Benny. I'm still here, but he helped me out, and I know he'll help you out.
Well, stop hitting potholes.
Smart move. Went to buy a bunch of patio furniture, went to the guy's house, got destroyed by the weather. I asked him, I go, why didn't you cover this? He says, I didn't know I could. I didn't know how to do that. I said, I got a whole idea for you, buddy. Everything will be sold if you just take care of your equipment. He says, how do I cover it? Guess what I told him to call?
Wrap America.
Absolutely. They have a reusable zipper wrap, completely covers RVs, wave runners, patio equipment. It's great. If you go to rap-america.com, ask for Tommy if you call 516-830-0040. So, we're not getting out of here on time?
No, we're not.
Is that
that's all your fault.
It is my fault. All right, so then I want lunch.
Yes.
Does that mean I have to buy lunch?
Yes.
If I'm buying lunch, I want Giovanni's Pizza.
You got it.
All right, so I'm going to call 631-669-9507. They're at 1009 Little East Neck Road in West Babylon, New York, 11704. And I am getting a chicken parm. I know your father likes that.
Oh, my father loves his chicken parm.
I love everything they make. Gio, I'm getting fat and it's your fault, but I love every minute of it.
Hey, Ben, did you know 65% of people have curly hair? And the biggest problem that holds them back from embracing their curl is frizz.
Frizz.
Yes.
I do know about frizz.
Curl Evolution, located at 233 East Main Street in Babylon Village, is solving that problem.
Good.
They're Long Island's top curly salon. They specialize in cuts and colors, especially for curly hair.
I'll tell you, if you have a bad hair day, that's who you go to.
Yes, you do. They cut curls differently as well, totally different than straight hair. It's done dry.
Dry?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Teach me more.
Yeah. It's because of their individual curl pattern.
Oh.
They have over 2,500 five-star reviews, so you can check them out at curlevolution.com. They're located at 233 East Main Street in Babylon, 631-422-4200.
I want my hair to be curly just so I can go.
Yes.
I'm going. Listen, if you need a lawyer, I'm going to tell you what to do. A lot of this show is about divorce, taking the proper steps to get divorced. If you're going to do that, you want the right attorney. The right attorney is more than half the battle, if you ask me.
Yes.
So what I would do, I think you know who I'm going to tell people to call.
Yes.
Who am I going to tell them to call?
Gene Mercurio.
Absolutely. 57 West Main Street, Suite 130, Babylon. What's that number again?
It's 631-543-0032.
Gene is a friend and a warrior of the show. Give her a call.
And we're back.
Yes. So, all right. So the question was, before we went to break, what was that defining moment when you were like, you know what, I got this, I'm going to be okay? So, Theresa, what was your defining moment?
When I filed for divorce.
Okay. And then you were like, I'm going to be okay?
Yes. I had to be. I didn't have a choice. I have 3 girls.
Yes, you do. And beautiful girls, by the way. But, so then that was your first feeling of empowerment?
Yes, it was.
But it was difficult. It was scary.
I'm not saying that it was easy.
Right.
It was worth it.
Well, that's what they say about divorce. That's why it's expensive, because it's worth it. So Kev, what was your moment when you were like, I got this, I'm going to be okay, after divorce?
There was, I guess the first one, was when I was able to buy my house.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, I was able to. I was in a bad relationship after my divorce. It was just bad, and so I was able to, get out of that and buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that was empowering. I felt pretty good. And,
well, dating after marriage is weird.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't like my ex-wife or my daughter's mother, my child's mother, I don't like saying ex-wife. Even though we didn't get along very well, I wasn't so. She knew me. I knew her. I didn't have to look my best or anything like that. I wasn't so awkward or uncomfortable about who I am, the way I talk, or the way I look. Actually, let me rewind. I did feel insecure around her, but for the most part, it was okay. Then now meeting new people was very difficult for me. I met people. I'm dating myself, but I met people off MySpace.
Oh God.
Oh God, it was so terrible. I never did online dating.
Well, me neither.
Did you ever do online dating?
I did. That's how I met my wife.
Really? Hey, it worked out for you.
Worked out wonderfully. But
excellent.
It wasn't. There were a lot of ups and downs.
There were other online dates that went less than spectacular.
Yeah, I've took off. And when I saw the person I was supposed to meet, I was like, oh no.
You ditched.
Did you ever get catfished?
What do you mean by that?
So catfished is when someone tells you, they send you a picture of who they are and what they look like.
Yeah. I got catfished then, if that's what that means.
Yes. Yep.
And then what happened? Then you saw and you're like, wait a second.
And you turned around and walked out.
I literally, I met her. We were going to go see my friend's band play, and it sucks because I missed my friend's band. Mm-hmm. And I said, hold on a second. And I just
and you just left.
So
I got a lot of mean texts after that.
So. But you sent me a picture that wasn't you. So someone I know, and he shall remain nameless, but I know he listens. My favorite story. There's a phone line, and I don't remember what it was called, but he would meet girls on the phone.
Meet girls on the phone? Yeah,
well, they would talk, and this is more so before everyone had a cell phone and like everybody was sharing pictures.
So you're talking like a rotary phone?
No, it was.
Ben,
was
are you 150?
No, it was a push button phone. I think he called it lava something, and he calls and he's starting to talk to this girl, and he's like, yo, and he just had like a terrible breakup, and he was kind of on the balls of his ass, and he says, yeah, I met this girl. I'm like, where? He's like, on the phone. I'm like, on the phone? And he told me about it. I'm like, was like a phone sex operator? He goes, no. He goes, you call up and you talk to different girls and you kind of connect. He's like, because he mentioned about the phone sex part. And I was like, okay. So he said, no, I met her. And we were on the phone for like 4 hours. And I was like, okay, that's cool, man. And then he told me what she looked like. And then he told me where she lived. And I go, it's like a part in the Bronx. And I'm like, and of course, she looked like a girl from Baywatch. Which
of course.
I'm sure that was realistic.
Oh, yeah.
She said she looks like this girl from Baywatch, and I don't remember the name and whatever. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, buddy, okay.
Why is she single?
Yeah. So, like, so the girl that she picked from Baywatch, by the way, was white. So then they're talking and they like getting so close, and like I think they might have even told each other they love each other.
On the phone.
And they couldn't believe how amazing this connection was. So he calls me up. He's like, yo, she's coming over. I'm like, think about it, buddy. Like, you might want to meet her somewhere else.
Right, not your house.
And I told you about this.
You did.
So he goes, well, he was living by 35th Street, right by the tunnel. Mm-hmm. I says, maybe meet her out, like, at a bar or something, go somewhere else. He says, no, man, she's real cool. I was like, I don't think about that. She comes to your house and she's not the person she says she is. Because I'm sure she's being honest, because everyone's honest on a phone line. Yeah. So he's like, no. And then she came to the house, to his apartment, I should say. And she was a very tall, big woman. The only thing that she was honest about was being very chesty.
Right.
But she wasn't white, so she didn't look like the white girl that she picked on Baywatch. And she did have a blonde wig on. So I guess that was where the blonde hair came in. Wow. And
wow.
So I'm like, did you let her in? He goes, yeah, what am I gonna do? She's at my apartment. And like it's such online dating and all of that stuff is so scary to me.
Yes, me too.
I never did it. But then someone told me, well, maybe you were the weird one and they ran away from you. I was kind of hoping that's not true. I kind of hope that's not true.
That's funny.
What, did they ran away from me?
I'll tell you quick. You're talking about like when you felt empowered or whatever?
Yes.
Whatever your question was. I remember when I was just comfortable being with myself and not, needing anyone. And that's when I was able to like date and eventually meet my wife, 'cause for a while you feel like, oh, you got to be with somebody and this and that. For a while, I was by myself for a while, and I really felt comfortable with myself,
Right.
And then that kind of changed me, I mean, you always think, oh, I got to be in a relationship. I got to be in a relationship, or my world's going to crumble, or whatever.
Right. Right.
Finally, I said, fuck it. I got a dog.
Right.
I gave up for a while, and it was it, and then I started to, get back out there. But anyway, sorry to interrupt. I don't know the procedures here.
No,
that's
none.
okay.
It's
but
just
you know what, Ben? You didn't tell us what your defining moment was.
Oh.
We said it, and you never said it.
All right. So when I moved from a big house in a nice neighborhood with let's see, 3 bedrooms and a nanny's quarters on a large plot of land with the 2-car garage and an in-ground pool. And I went from there back to a small upstairs 2-bedroom apartment in someone's house in my neighborhood where I grew up in East Meadow. And I went in there. There was nothing on the walls. There was just nothing there. And I think my biggest moment of empowerment was the first meal I ever cooked for myself.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think that was great. You
You cook. That's excellent.
Yes, and it was good. It was good. I went and I bought a table.
Okay.
Because I didn't have a table. I had like a little TV tray. Mm-hmm. I bought a table. I made chicken cutlets, mashed potatoes, and I got like literally any type of appetizer I thought. I made it for myself. I ate it all, put all the dishes in the sink, and I went on the couch and I'm like, I don't have to do dishes. And then I passed out on the couch. It was the greatest, but it was like, to me, if I could relive that moment exactly as it was without changing, I would do that.
Wow.
I can't say I have a lot of those times in my life, but that was really good because I wasn't depressed. I wasn't, beating myself up. I was happy.
Right.
I was okay being alone. And I didn't have cable for the first. You remember? I didn't have cable in my house for like a month.
Yeah.
So I had to watch. I had an old television with a VHS player in it. I watched.
That's like as bad as the rotary phone.
It is. I had a rotary phone in the first house I bought. But what movie was that? Oh God, with Bruce Willis. Oh my God, I can't think of that. Pulp Fiction.
Ah, yes.
You're not supposed to watch Pulp Fiction every day for like a month.
But you did.
I was a little melted after a while. I didn't watch it for a little bit, but I think that was it. So when you went on dates afterwards, what was your typical dates like? Where would you go?
Well, it would suck because I didn't drink, so it was Starbucks. I remember.
Oh, like a coffee date. I think that's great.
Yeah, because dinner dates, you end up spending all sorts of money, and
right.
Time the dates aren't, good. So Starbucks was a lot of it. Sometimes going out to bars, because that's more sociable,
Right.
So, but right off the bat, you're sitting and talking to someone. It's like, it's like an interview. It was
right. That's what you feel like. It's one big interview. It's terrible.
I think there is also the difference, like the sexual tensions there. Like, am I going to do it? Is it going to happen? So for a guy to not admit that we're human and we have physical needs.
Okay. You're talking about a date at Starbucks.
I understand that.
Come on, Ben.
I totally understand that. But I remember, like, forgive me, but when I got divorced, I was like,
saying, "Oh, I'm going to buy her a coffee and then I'm going to get laid,"
or anything else that happened. Yeah. So no, I remember I was thinking, I'm like, well, listen, I had a no getting it career with my marriage. We didn't do it. Forgive me, by the way, I'm not insulting anyone. I have all the respect in the world for my ex-wife or the mother of my child, but we weren't intimate. So I had some pent up energy, let's say.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say that I went to a Starbucks and was like, hey, you think? I don't think that's the way it happened.
You're right. You really do have no game.
I don't know. I kind of have some game. I can be charismatic. Some people like me. But yeah, no, I think that was my biggest fear. All right, so we're going into as I embarrass myself, we are going into
Keep
a
digging
break.
the hole, Ben.
Keep digging. Listen, I wanted to get laid. The worst thing that can happen to me. So, all right, we're going into a break, and then we're going to round up with that constructive conclusion shortly.
Be right back.
All right, so this is what you're going to do. I had a flat tire. Do you know who I called?
You call Tommy.
I did at 631 Tire and Wheel, 666 West Hoffman Avenue in Lindenhurst, New York, 11757. Or you could go to 631tire.com, 631-412-5165, and ask for Tommy.
Tell him Theresa sent you.
Or Benny. I'm still here, but he helped me out, and I know he'll help you out.
Well, stop hitting potholes.
Smart move. Went to buy a bunch of patio furniture, went to the guy's house, got destroyed by the weather. I asked him, I go, why didn't you cover this? He says, I didn't know I could. I didn't know how to do that. I said, I got a whole idea for you, buddy. Everything will be sold if you just take care of your equipment. He says, how do I cover it? Guess what I told him to call?
Wrap America.
Absolutely. They have a reusable zipper wrap, completely covers RVs, wave runners, patio equipment. It's great. If you go to wrap-america.com, ask for Tommy if you call 516-830-0040. So, we're not getting out of here on time?
No, we're not.
Is that
that's all your fault.
It is my fault. All right, so then I want lunch.
Yes.
Does that mean I have to buy lunch?
Yes.
If I'm buying lunch, I want Giovanni's Pizza.
You got it.
All right, so I'm going to call 631-669-9507. They're at 1009 Little East Neck Road in West Babylon, New York, 11704. And I am getting a chicken parm. I know your father likes that.
Oh, my father loves his chicken parm.
I love everything they make. Gio, I'm getting fat and it's your fault, but I love every minute of it.
Hey, Ben, did you know 65% of people have curly hair? And the biggest problem that holds them back from embracing their curl is frizz.
Frizz.
Yes.
I do know about frizz.
Curl Evolution, located at 233 East Main Street in Babylon Village, is solving that problem.
Good.
They're Long Island's top curly salon. They specialize in cuts and colors, especially for curly hair.
I'll tell you, if you have a bad hair day, that's who you go to.
Yes, you do. They cut curls differently as well, totally different than straight hair. It's done dry.
Dry?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Teach me more.
Yeah. It's because of their individual curl pattern.
Oh.
They have over 2,500 five-star reviews, so you can check them out at curlevolution.com. They're located at 233 East Main Street in Babylon, 631-422-4200.
I want my hair to be curly just so I can go.
Yes.
I'm going. Listen, if you need a lawyer, I'm going to tell you what to do. A lot of this show is about divorce, taking the proper steps to get divorced. If you're going to do that, you want the right attorney. The right attorney is more than half the battle, if you ask me.
Yes.
So what I would do, I think you know who I'm going to tell people to call.
Yes.
Who am I going to tell them to call?
Gene Mercurio.
Absolutely. 57 West Main Street, Suite 130, Babylon. What's that number again?
It's 631-543-0032.
Gene is a friend and a warrior of the show. Give her a call. All right, we're back now. So, all right. So
Keep digging the hole, Ben.
Listen. The one thing I love about what we do is we're real people.
Yeah, we are.
We're real people that think real thoughts. Okay, young lady.
Okay, what?
All coming at you now.
All right.
So you mean to tell me, as a woman going out, that sex is not a thought?
Not on a first date.
I didn't ask about, are you going to do it on a first date?
But you were talking about doing it on a first date after buying a coffee.
I didn't even buy anyone coffee. My question is, it's a thought.
No.
It's not a thought.
Not a
so
thought.
Not a thought.
No.
Okay, what if you look at the guy, are you looking at the guy going,
I'm not looking at him like he's a piece of meat. I want to know him.
Right, I feel the same way.
You do not.
I do now. I was a different guy.
After I screamed at you.
No, she didn't scream at me off the air. But what happens is, look, I had a very different. I admit to being a womanizer at one point in my life. I admit to being inappropriate. I am not proud of who I used to be. I'm proud of who I am now. I respect women. I love women. I think women are the most beautiful creation in the world. But
There's a but.
does it mean I don't enjoy thinking sexual thoughts?
Okay.
And
No one told you couldn't.
it wouldn't happen if they told me I couldn't. I still would. I'm a normal you. I have a thing. So now, was that like a thing to you? Like after the divorce, like, am I ever gonna have sex again? Does that idea come to you?
No.
Never thought about, am I ever gonna have sex again?
No. Was I supposed to think that?
I
What's in my blueprint?
You have your own blueprint. It wasn't in your blueprint.
Wasn't in my blueprint.
Or you have batteries. Oh!
I do. Nice, shiny, brand new, rechargeable batteries.
Oh! This is where people get real.
That is a whole other show.
That is on Strong Island Radio. Breaking the vow, we get honest. And I love that.
Now, Kev, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead,
When
Kev.
you first took your wife out and you brought her to Starbucks and bought her coffee, did you get laid?
Oh, God.
No, not on the first date.
See?
We got on great. So the difference is
You love her.
I wasn't thinking 100%. I just want to get laid. I thought I want to get to know her more.
So you weren't thinking like Ben?
Well, on other dates, I was thinking like that.
Oh, okay.
By the way, folks, let's just announce the fact that I've grown a lot since
You
then.
have.
It kind of depends where you are and what you're looking for at the time.
Right.
You might be looking. My mistake a lot was I was looking for a woman who could take care of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you were looking for like a mom figure.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then, you don't know what you're looking for. Then you just want to get laid. Then you want to get married.
That's fair. That's valid.
I think,
That's honest.
yeah, that is on. I think I was looking for someone to take care of me. I never took care of myself before. So I think that's why that defining moment was important. Like when I cooked myself a meal, was proving that I knew how to do things.
Right.
Really take care of yourself, and you can, that is empowering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know how to do that. I mean, I remember my first day. I got my first tattoo. It was like literally 3 hours out of the house.
You had a lot of firsts.
Yes, that week there was a lot of firsts. I'm not saying anything else. I don't want to destroy my credibility as a professional any worse than it might have been. But hey, listen, I'm honest.
You are.
But I think I the fact that I landed in an apartment was kind of
That was
interesting
big for you.
Yeah, because I always lived with somebody.
Yeah.
I was by myself. There was like no one around. And then I learned to like do a lot of
Yeah,
things.
garbage was a big thing for me. Like I never took out the garbage. It wasn't my job. I just never did it. And I had to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice.
Right. I think I think it was hard like when being with my daughter alone because she was very young.
Yeah.
There's things that men know and there's things that men don't know.
Right.
And I don't know what it's like to be a little girl. So there were certain things that I didn't know how to pick up on. There's a bagel place that Kev would know about on Front Street in East Meadow. And I went in there and I'm holding my daughter. And this is like the greatest story, by the way. I'm holding my daughter, like bouncing her up and down, and I'm playing all these cute games. And all the girls, the young girls, pretty girls behind the counter are like, "Oh, look how cute he is!" And because I'm like a dad, I'm like cute.
Right, you're in dad mode.
And I'm like, this works. And then I'm bouncing her up and down, and like they're looking at it, and then my daughter like makes fun of me. And it was something that I think her mother told her about me. And like literally like all the girls behind the counter just like doofed away. They're like, zoom, zoom. I'll never forget that. And I was like, oh man, like I thought this was gonna work. But I don't know that I don't know that I felt comfortable for a while. And I know when I did feel comfortable, it wasn't because of somebody else. It was because I learned to empower myself.
Right. So, Kev, you learned to be with yourself first, and then you met your wife now, right?
Yeah, that was important.
Yeah.
And then life is great now. It's
See?
amazing.
So now, and now here's a question. You got married during COVID times.
We pulled it off somehow.
Yay.
What
look
was
at
that like, Ben?
Well, what was it like? You were there.
100%. I was there for a lot of it, but the planning.
I had to change venues like 3 different times. But where we ended up was awesome. And, we had a hotel next to the venue.
Mm-hmm.
So we stayed over there, and it ended up being amazing. But we had to cut the guest list down, and then there was a hurricane coming in the next day.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's right.
No, right, Ben? Remember when we went there to set up drums? I thought it was going to rain. So it really worked out amazing, actually.
Oh, no, and the girl that worked there gave me a hard time about my ministry credentials.
Yeah, because she didn't know. They were nervous that people were coming to bust them for having,
Yeah.
Oh, like the SLA? Where they serving alcohol?
Well, yeah, but even to have people at a function.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were going around and busting chops. So
Yeah.
Ben walks in. He's like, "Hey, there's a wedding here today," and the lady got paranoid. She didn't know.
She didn't know who you were.
No, I said I'm the minister. By the way, I'm sleeved out with tattoos. If you don't know who I am, what I look like, right? I'm like this tattooed guy. Beard. My hair was all long and a little shaggy, or whatever. And she's like, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, no. I'm the minister. I'm actually performing the wedding. I just came to see if everything's okay and where we're gonna be. But it was an honor, but it was really pretty.
It was real, right?
Yeah, no, it was.
You
great.
adapted and you did it.
Yeah, and isn't that what life's about? Being
Yeah.
able to adapt and like improvise, overcome, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to talk about too, my kids were both at the wedding, and my son was crying, right, Ben?
Oh,
Aw.
Yeah, we had a.
that wasn't my fault.
You made him cry?
No, I just want to be very clear.
He just got wrapped up in the emotion of everything, and it was just an amazing moment.
That's
actually.
fantastic.
No, he and I walked away to the side. Both of us were crying. Yeah, I'm like holding him. He Connor's awesome though. We played tennis.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played tennis, and it was a really good time. It was good to see some of our old friends. Some of them haven't seen me in like 30 years, and they're like, "You're a minister now?"
Who's this guy?
Then they heard my name, and they're like, "What? Wait, you're the minister? Didn't you like have Slayer carved into your body when you were a kid?" Like, yeah, totally. So yeah, even the photographer Joe Fridella, who is a friend of the show.
I love him.
Yeah, he's
I love
he's a great
him.
photographer. He's a great guy, and he was there. It was so nice, man. It was good to see you have a victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big victory, actually.
But those are the stories we like. I love a good success story.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, just because you get divorced doesn't mean your life ends.
Yeah, it's not a death sentence.
No, it's actually an entryway to a new
life.
In the beginning, it seems like a death sentence.
It does, but you get through it.
Yeah.
The only way out is through.
If I look back, when I first got divorced, I wasn't allowed to drive my kids.
Oh.
There was a lot of shit that when I look back, it's amazing of like talk about just getting married and my kids being there. And everything. Really, it is a little bit of a success story. I'm pretty.
It's
happy.
a big success story.
What are you talking about? A little bit, yeah. It was a big success.
Big.
Listen, I've been in your corner for a long time, man, and you did the work, and I watched you do the work. So this is why I wanted you on, as a guest on the show, not just to joke around and talk about like getting laid at Starbucks, but like even though it's still fun.
That was not Kevin. That was you.
I never got laid at Starbucks.
Yeah, but you thought you were going to get laid at Starbucks after buying somebody a cup of coffee.
Never at Starbucks. Ever at Starbucks? No, I don't think so. Do you know of me ever taking anyone to Starbucks? You would know.
No.
No,
All right.
No.
Dunkin' Donuts is different. But hey,
Or over an Egg McMuffin or White Castle.
White Castles. White Castles is good, man. I don't care what anyone says. I miss me some White
Shit is disgusting.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. At 3 a.m, after you're out with the boys, White Castle does some justice.
Yuck. I have never had a White Castle in my life.
Yeah,
ever.
but you eat very differently.
I do, yes.
Italian as ever, but even most typical Italian dishes.
Yeah, I'm a vegetarian. I don't.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I can't do the vegetarian thing. I don't even think I could try.
I can't even smell White Castle.
I can smell it. I can smell. I mean,
No.
I think. So, all right. So here's a quick question before we go to break. At 3 o'clock in the morning, after being out with your friends, real quick, lightning round. Kev, what would be your go-to meal? Like, was it a diner? What would you get?
The diner. Yeah, I'd probably go to the diner, get some eggs.
Eggs?
Yeah, omelet.
All right.
French fries and mozzarella.
Oh, yeah, with the brown gravy.
Yes.
French fries, mozzarella, brown gravy. Cheeseburger supreme. Or deluxe, I'm sorry.
Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, well, we got to call Gio.
Yes, we do.
Kev, you're one of my best friends, man. You're my family. You're a brother to me. I love you. I just needed to tell you that. I'm glad you're on the show.
Thanks, Kev.
Thanks, bro. And you guys have a good show. It was fun. You guys
Thanks.
you laugh, talk about serious stuff too.
Yeah.
Cool.
White Castles.
White Castle.
Starbucks.
Starbucks getting laid after buying somebody a Starbucks.
I never bought nobody a Starbucks, though. All right, so folks, we will see you next week.